Click that like and subscribe button and go sign up on superchargedstocks.com and let's keep you notified. Good morning, it's Andrew O'Donnell of Supercharged Stocks. We're here with Derek Macpherson, who's the President and CEO of G79 Mines. Lots of news to catch up with you about. Let us know where you're at and what's happening and how both projects doing.
Yeah, so things are going well. It's been a busy summer for Gold79. Obviously, we've got the 3 projects in Nevada and Arizona. Most recent news and what we were talking about was Jefferson Canyon, where we put out the reprocessed geophysics, and it looks like that's becoming a sizable target, and we're down the path there permitting, and so that's going well for the first exploration program. In the near term, I think what's going to probably excite investors is that we're about to embark on that maiden drilling program at Goldchain, our project in Arizona. The last time we were on, we had just tripled the land package with you, and now we're getting ready to put that maiden drill program in and kind of start to prove to the market what we see as the economic potential there.
Yeah, so run us through Goldchain again. What was some of the big highlights there, and also kind of timeframes, because that is the flagship type of property.
Yeah, it's Goldchain is our focus right now.
Yeah.
Goldchain, we are permitted for a drill program there. So earlier this year, and over 2 different staking campaigns this year, we tripled the land package. So the project's in the Oatman district in Arizona. That district is, there's been 2 past producing mines built in that district in the last 3 years. Not something you could say about a lot of places in the world, let alone the U.S. And it's a historic gold mining district, and it's a good county to be looking at building a mine. And we've definitely got good support both from the permitting agencies and the local community. And so that project, the reason we grew our land package so much was not just because we wanted more land, but because our sampling and mapping campaign turned up some very, very good numbers. And, including sort of 20 grams a ton, 8 grams a ton, 25 grams a ton, 5.7 grams a ton, and 11 grams a ton, all in rock samples from a piece of patented ground that we acquired this year. And so the main drill campaign that we're going after is in 2 areas. The first is the Banner Mine, which is a set of patented claims, which, in the US means that we could do a lot of different things without getting additional permits, less regulatory hurdles for exploration, and development for that matter. And so on those patents, we're going to be doing some drilling at that area, and then we're going to be drilling down at Roadside. And Roadside is an area where we've got some historic drilling in the past. One of the holes there was 1.2 grams a ton over 15 meters. Well, it's not a sexy high grade hole, and it's not as sexy as some of those rock samples that we had. It is an economic grade, and it's something that you would see from the Moss mine, which is only 12 kilometers to the south of us in their drilling, which is an operating mine. So I think it's, from that perspective, that's what makes Goldchain very exciting at the moment. And, it's us progressing towards drilling I think is the important thing to re-rate the stock going forward.
I think that's a good point to highlight to people again, is that you don't need to hit it out of the park and hit world-class results. I mean, that'd be great if you do, but because of the mines around, and there's a mill fairly close, there's infrastructure, you don't need to smash this thing a home run. You just need sound economic grade that makes financial sense, and that bar to reach or match is substantially easier than, say, you're way up in the Yukon, pretty far out, not as much infrastructure. I mean, you need to hit some substantial numbers in order to make it economically useful.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. We're from an infrastructure point of view, our project comes right down to the highway, a major interstate highway. The power line that crosses the property. We're 5 miles outside of a town, outside of a city that already supports 2 operating mines. So it's from a hurdle rate perspective, it's not that high. I mean, Northern Vertex went into production with effectively with 500,000 ounces at sort of 0.6 grams a ton gold equivalent. So certainly there is a an opportunity for us to get there without having to be spectacular. Although some of those rock samples that we're getting at Gold Chain and at the Banner patents suggest that, you know, there's something more there than just good. There might be something, you know, even better. The other thing that excites us about those Banner, I mean, Banner is a historic mine. There's a 250-foot shaft that was, and then there's some development at depth there on a vein, what they called a ledge at that time. And there's a development on that vein, and obviously they operated that mine for a couple of years. So odds are they were onto something. Might not have been spectacular for the time frame, but is certainly something that's good and has the potential to sort of be good grades for us
right now, short term.
Right now.
Yeah. And that's like 1990 was the last time work has been done. Is that correct?
The last time exploration was done.
Exploration
was done in the 90s, 80s and 90s. That particular the historic mine dates back to 1916, so a little bit older, but they had to look. They had to have some pretty splashy grades to make things work.
And I want to highlight it. Not that we're trying to underwhelm people, but it's really every story is different, and there's pluses and minuses to every story. This one is that hurdle rate isn't very high, which makes it, if someone says, "Listen, I'm gonna throw some money at X, Y, and Z," knowing that there's a hurdle rate which is not that high to make it economic is attractive to a lot of people. It's all of a sudden you've been de-risked quite a bit and saying, "Oh, okay." Once again, we don't have to hit massive 10 grams per ton gold or anything like that nature. If we have solid, good results, and of course, like you're saying, with the potential of expanding, but also better upside, that is very attractive.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, one of the things, if I put my other hat on for a second, when as an investor or when I was a research analyst, you know, one of the things I always keyed on is you know, is it capable of being a mine, right? And because that's what gets you to the next step. Is it capable of getting the next gate? Is it worth developing? And I think what you see in the district is, because there are two operating mines, you could build a mine in the area from permitting and a regulatory point of view, but also you know, what those two mines, those are two very different mines. Gold Road's a high grade underground mine, which we have some snips of, but we haven't hit yet. But and Moss Mine is a lower grade open pit heap leach operation, and I think both those we have potential for both. And you know, obviously the historic drilling results point to the Moss potential, but I think that's the key, is that there is the potential for a mine, and you know, and I think that's important.
Yeah, and that's a very different mindset than someone saying, "I'm going to play the early exploration curve where maybe we get some good results, we get a bit of a bump in the stock, but really we're 20 years out." Like, I mean, can this be a mine today? Maybe not. This is very different because it's short term. Can we get this into production? We're in a mining friendly area. We've got infrastructure. We know they've permitted mines, so it's not a matter of, can this even be permitted? Yeah, of course it can. And that's factors and functions that are very different than someone just saying, "We're looking to nail it out of the park on some, you know, new exploration project that could be kind of far out." This is a very different story, and probably aligns itself better with a very analytical person who's looking for a mine. Like, we're looking to build a mine here.
If you look at our projects, generally, in particular, Gold Chain and Jefferson Canyon, either of those have the potential to be a mine. Obviously, Gold Chain being, you know, in the Oatman district where there's been a couple mines built, and Jefferson Canyon being, you know, a few kilometers from 7 kilometers from Round Mountain, one of the largest producing mines in the U.S. So that's the other opportunity within the story, and you'll get that all for that 7 million market cap.
Yes. Now, can you maybe walk us through the Jefferson Canyon video, because it gets a chance to have someone who has your background, who's an analyst by nature, and who has had to wear many hats in this sector. You know the sector very well. Walk us through what you see from this model, because it's a very compelling video, and I always like that because it's a good educational piece for someone to look and go, here's the model, here's the thesis for this one for Jefferson Canyon.
Right.
And it's a great 1 minute video, or 1 minute, 10 seconds. Maybe you could just kind of walk us through what you see in that kind of video.
So obviously Jefferson Canyon Project is located in Nevada, one of the most mining friendly jurisdictions in the world. And as you zoom in, what you can see, the operating mine there 7 kilometers away is Round Mountain, a major producer for Kinross. So zooming in, what you see in the the colors there is the golden soil anomaly and some of the rock chips. And then that's the exploration target. And the blue lines are the faults, and the faults are the controlling structure. And you can see the exploration target is based on the historic drilling is relatively shallow, but the geologic model shows that plunging to depth. So this is the exploration model that shows all the different drill holes that we have on the property. So there's 154 holes, so that's a lot of drilling. And this is about the half-gram grade shell, which would be above the cutoff grade at Round Mountain right now. And then this is the geophysics, and I think the important part here in the geophysics is the plate you see in there is a Jefferson Canyon fault plunging to depth, and that's the controlling structure of the mineralization. And so obviously for the shallow drilling, it goes deeper, and it meshes well with the golden soil anomaly.
What I like to do is when we have like a video like that is to have someone explain to us so that especially a generalist investor gets a sense of what's the model, how does it look, how does it work? Yeah. And it helps them to understand the process that you go through. So kind of we wrap up Jefferson, what's the hope there? What's the expectation? I mean, being so close to Round Mountain is pretty outstanding.
Yeah, I think the expectation with Jefferson Canyon is twofold. Obviously, we've got a much bigger system than the historic drilling shows. That's what that video really tells us. But there also is substantial historic drilling. The advantage of it being so close to Round Mountain is that, again, when we talked about hurdle rates with gold chain, the hurdle rate at Jefferson Canyon is fairly low. If we get something a slightly better grade than what than Round Mountain has, obviously Kinross is potentially interested. But we're going to go down the path and try to prove that up and put that in drilling. So with Jefferson, we are in the process of permitting for exploration. Expect to be drilling sort of Q2, Q3 next year at Jefferson. In the interim, the focus of the company continues to be a gold chain. We are going to be, now that we've completed the sampling and mapping program and the land expansion, our next step for us is drilling. And so look for us to be drilling in September, and then with the expectation of sort of results 6 to 8 weeks after that. And I think, either one of those projects justifies our 7 million market cap, or even the third project we haven't talked about today, which is Tip Top. But as we start to get the news flow going and start drilling and putting out exploration results, I think that's where the investors will see it. Investors will start to see the stock re-rate and start to see that as that news flow comes in.
Yeah, certainly the urgency is that the program is about to start here, coming up in the next couple of weeks, and it's just a matter of the time frame of getting results back. But that's the excitement here, and that is something to build upon. And like you said, you're a steal at the price, and I think it's once people understand what the model is, what you're going after, and how it works, it finds the right investor and the right person who goes, I like that risk portfolio, I like what you're doing, and I see what the expectations we have to meet, the milestones we have to meet to make this economic and make it feasible. Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's the opportunity, but it all comes down to the truth machine, and we got to put it in the drill in the core box or in Gold Chain's case, the chip tray. But we got to do the drilling and to start to prove that model that it works, and I think that's what's going to move the needle for investors. Your subscribers have a great opportunity. Stock just came off a 4-month hold early August into what has been a weak market. Yeah. And so, stock trading at 6.5 to 7 cents, I think is a great opportunity for people to pick up shares just ahead of this drill program, the first one that the program's undertaken in a couple of years.
Excellent. Well, of course, if you have any new developments in the meantime, please reach out to us, but we'll definitely have you back on whenever you have results and to explain what's kind of developed and where is that leading. So good luck with the program itself, and we look forward to hearing from you again.
Always great to talk to you, Andrew. Thanks.
Thanks, Derek. Bye-bye. Bye.